So third E stands for empty. We have an empty tomb. How do we know? Because even the opponents of Jesus, even the enemies of Jesus, admitted that the tomb was empty. Because when the disciple, we know from sources inside and outside the New Testament, that when the disciples began proclaiming that Jesus had risen, what the opponents said was, oh, well, the disciples stole the body. Now, they're conceding the tomb is empty. They're trying to explain how it got empty. So everybody is admitting the tomb is empty. That's not the question of history. The question of history really is, how did it get empty? And you go through the usual list of suspects. You know, the Romans weren't about to steal the body. They wanted Jesus dead. The Jewish leaders of the day weren't about to steal the body. They wanted Jesus to stay dead. The disciples weren't about to steal the body. They didn't have the motive or the means or the opportunity. By the way, I mentioned Bart Ehrman earlier, this critic of Christianity and a agnostic. He likes to say, well, I'll tell you why the tomb was empty. The body was never in it. Don't you know they didn't bury crucifixion victims? They threw their bodies to the dogs. So that's why the tomb was empty. His body was never in the tomb. They didn't bury crucifixion victims. Well, it's just not correct. In fact, archaeology has recovered the bodies of at least two individuals who had been crucified in the first century. One of them still had the nail driven through his ankle bone and a piece of the olive wood of the cross attached to it. So we do have archaeological evidence there were burials. And then there's a Roman document that is sort of a summary of the customs and procedures of the Roman Empire. And it's called the Digesta. And the Digesta specifically allows for the burial of execution victims. Pontius Pilate, for various reasons, would have been motivated to allow the burial of Jesus rather than to leave his body on the cross over Passover when the city of Jerusalem was packed with people who would have rioted because this would have defiled the land.